Thanks so much for joining this session on growing your business through supplier diversity. I'm Karen Wallace, and I am Executive Vice President of Marketing for Associated Industries of Massachusetts. This is our first time actually exhibiting at the BECMA Mass Black Expo, and we're thrilled to be here. Thrilled to be able to share with you what AIM does and why we want to work with you going forward, but also thrilled to help you understand a little bit more about how to work to get on supplier diversity lists for some of our businesses. Before we get into that, let me just tell you a little bit about AIM. Associated Industries of Massachusetts, affectionately called AIM, is the largest business organization and association in Massachusetts. It is the business association for the Commonwealth. We have 3,300 members currently, with 150 industries and representing over 500,000 employees in the state. We work on things like public policy to ensure that employers and employees have the best opportunities to thrive in the state. We really believe that if employers and employees are thriving, everyone in the state can thrive, and it makes for a better Massachusetts for all of us. And when I talk about public policy, let me give you an example of a couple of things that we've done. For example, most recently, we were able to prevent new business taxes on employers in the state, and we advocated successfully for that over the last 2 legislative sessions. We've worked on things like healthcare advocacy, taxes, as I mentioned, unemployment insurance, all in efforts to make sure that we have a solid business environment for employers like you and your employees. The second thing AIM works on is HR resources. So we have a number, as I mentioned, we have a number of companies, 3,300, and there are a number of different sizes. About 20% of our membership are the huge, very well-known companies that you know throughout Massachusetts. And 80% of our businesses are smaller organizations. Some of that 80%, those organizations are small enough where they don't have the capabilities to manage their own HR resources. And so we can do that for you. Either a complete outsourcing, we can write policy for you, we can help you with HR best practices. All of that, we have HR solutions for our members. Third thing we do, and the thing that it tends to be very, very popular, is to build relationships across members. So our members really enjoy our events where we bring in other key business leaders. We bring in legislative leaders to talk about various bills that are going on that are going to impact the business community, or with our business leaders to talk about best practices that other members may want to think about instituting in their own business. We take a lot of time to put businesses together to make sure that you are meeting the folks that you want to meet to move your business forward. Relationships matter, and that's one of the things that we do best, is to grow relationships. I'm going to talk a little bit about that a bit later. We are now going to be working on an effort, a pilot actually, to have our members at AIM do more business with minority business suppliers, such as yourselves. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that later, and I'll actually have an offer that I think some of you members of BECMA might be interested in. But first, let's get down to brass tacks and talking about some really foundational and fundamental things that you may want to consider in order to get yourself to grow your business through more supplier diversity programs. I'm sure you are hearing about programs all over the place where so many corporations, so many governmental entities are really trying to diversify their suppliers. And you really want to set yourself up in a way that you can take advantage of this. You know, as reported by WGBH recently, the state had about $4.8 billion of opportunity in 2020, and less than 25 million of that went to Black and brown businesses. That's less than 1%. So how do we change that dynamic? How do we set ourselves up so that we have more opportunity in this environment? And AIM is looking to do this not just from a public perspective, but also with the private institutions that belong to AIM. So first, let's talk about certification. After we talked to a lot of our members, once we started thinking about what do we need to do to make sure that we can get our members to think more about some of the MBEs that have opportunities out there, have businesses that could supply them. Our members really said the first thing they're very interested in is having businesses who are certified through the Supplier Diversity Office. And so this is something you really want to consider in terms of making yourself more marketable. Get a certification. You can get that certification again through the Supplier Diversity Office, or you can also get certifications through GNE. GNE is the Greater New England Supplier Diversity Council. And if you get a certification through GNE, the Supplier Diversity Office of the Commonwealth can fast track you through getting their certification. So you'll end up actually having 2 certifications, and that will make you more marketable. It truly is one of the first steps that you want to take to make yourself more marketable in this environment. Secondly, we would say that you really, really need to know your value proposition. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you need to know your industry, you need to know your competitors, you need to know your customers in ways that you could put all of those 3 things together and come out on the other end saying, this is what my company does for the customer better than anyone else. This is my differentiator. This is the thing that is my greatest value proposition and what I bring to the table. And you need to be able to articulate that. Does it mean that you have more expertise? You have a higher quality product. You can be more efficient in the work that you do. It may mean one of those things or all of the above, but you need to be able to articulate that succinctly and make sure that it is something that differentiates you from everybody else in your sphere. When you think about your sphere, make sure you don't sell yourself short. Look at businesses that are the same size of your business, operating kind of in the same space as your business, looking to go after kind of the same entities. You don't want to compare yourself if you are an 8-person business with someone that's a 100-person business. So make sure you're doing an apples to apples comparison. The next thing you want to do is to make sure that you have done a great job of knowing the value of your services. Oftentimes we may think that we have to price ourselves in ways that give us a pricing advantage. Sometimes the pricing advantage, though, is really a discount that is discounting your business and not doing the best for your revenues. Again, you need to know the space that you're operating in and know the businesses of your size, what they're charging, why they're charging, and figure out how to price yourself appropriately within that sphere. Don't discount yourself in a way that you're not getting the most bang for your buck, for your services, etc. One other thing you need to think about is how you pitch yourself and having a strong pitch. It's a good thing to always have a strong case study of where you have already done business and done a great job for a customer. Other customers want to hear testimonials. They want to know that you've done business for someone else and that person has been satisfied. So make sure that you have a case study that is, what is the job that you did? What was the objective of the job? What did you accomplish on that job? And how did those accomplishments align with what your customer wanted you to do for them? And let's put those things in the customer's words. So for example, what was success for that customer? Was it that you brought the business in or the job in on time and under budget? Was it that you were more efficient with the job? What was it? And so make sure you can tell that story, and also make sure that the customer that you're talking about, or the customers that you are talking about, are ready to give you referrals to your next customer. As a marketer, I will tell you that word of mouth, referrals, testimonials are better than almost anything that you could do in the marketplace in terms of getting your business out there and getting new business. So you want to make sure that you cultivate that. And that's probably my last point right now for the 5 quick ones, the 5 foundational points, to make sure that you manage and keep up with your relationships. Relationships matter. They're very, very important. And quite honestly, having great relationships will get you even better relationships. Now, I mentioned I was going to get back to this notion of the pilot and how we want to work with some of the folks out there in BECMA. And so I'd like to tell you a little bit about this pilot. Again, we have 3,300 members at AIM, and we want to make sure that we are figuring out what opportunities those members have that might align with some of the businesses that are represented through BECMA. And we've been working through that and getting a list of buyers who are committed to supplier diversity, who are going to be willing to let us talk to the right people and open the right doors. By right people, I mean the decision makers, who are really going to give us the opportunity to match them with folks at BECMA who have services, capabilities that match with the opportunities that they have. So we'd like to offer some of the BECMA members, or all of the BECMA members if we can, the opportunity to participate in that pilot program. We're running this pilot program now through January to really get as many opportunities out there in front of your businesses to see how we can align these things. And one of the requirements that we have, or the only requirement that we have at this juncture, is that you are a certified minority-owned business through either the Supplier Diversity Office of the Commonwealth or through GNE, or both. And if you are certified, and if you are looking to participate in the pilot or would be willing to participate in the pilot, I ask that you just reach out to me. And you can reach out to me via email. It's kwallace, WALLACE, at aimnet.org. Again, kwallace at aimnet.org. Please reach out to me and let me know if you're interested in the pilot. If you are not certified, I would ask you to reach out anyways, because we can direct you to the appropriate people at the Supplier Diversity Office or at GNE where you can get certified. And we're very, very interested in helping to move this process along so that you too can participate in our pilot. Now, certification is only required for participation in the pilot. But because this is our first time at BECMA and we're so excited to be here, we are looking to offer some of the BECMA members a 1-year sponsored membership to AIM. And by sponsored membership, I mean someone has already funded this membership. It will be free to you for an entire year. So please, if you are interested in participating in AIM to get the full sense of what we do, don't hesitate to reach out again, kwallace at aimnet.org, and let me know that you're interested in a sponsor membership, and we'll be happy to get that for you. Thanks so much for taking time to meet with us. We look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to working with you. We look forward to providing opportunities for you to grow your business through supplier diversity.